Brad Underwood has been scouring the world looking for value, looking for a competitive advantage, as his AD Josh Whitman would call it. But he's going back to the States for his latest undiscovered gem here. Ethan Brown, a 6'4" combo guard from Missouri in the class of 2026, who is currently a zero-star unrated recruit per 24/7 Sports, has received an offer from Illinois. Ethan Brown himself tweeted this last night, said, after a great call with Coach Underwood, I am blessed to receive an offer from the University of Illinois. A lot of the big sites sort of aggregated this with a similar reaction to me when I saw it. Who is this? I've never heard of this kid. I don't know his background, and I did as much research as I could last night. Hopefully, we can help enlighten Illinois fans and others that find this video on Ethan Brown. He is a big time riser. He's had some big events lately, good performances, prolific scoring games lately, and I think he is catching national attention. Clearly, you don't get an Illinois offer without doing something right. But prior to this Illinois offer, the full list of schools that had offered Ethan Brown per 24/7 is just these schools: Lindenwood, Northern Iowa, St. Louis, and Southeast Missouri State. He has received interest from Iowa State, Missouri, and very recently Iowa. He actually visited Ben McCollum's program in June. But as far as I know, he came off of that Iowa visit without an offer. Iowa still said they wanted to see a little more. So here you have it. Illinois is the first school to swoop in at the high major level and give this kid an offer. And I think this kid's very excited about it based on what I've seen on the timeline. There's been a lot of people from his background and AAU programs who are like, oh, hell yeah, he finally got one. Illinois sees what we all see. So you are our prep hoops expert here, Cart. When we talk recruiting, I go straight to you. Who's Ethan Brown and what's he good at?
Yeah, so first of all, I feel like that was a good call by you with that last. Like, obviously, everything you said was correct, but the last part about it did resonate with me. The fact that there was the overwhelming notion of like, all right, y'all have been sleep on my guy. Like, he's been scoring, he's been getting buckets, he's been doing a lot of things. Now schools are starting to recognize it. And obviously, I saw a lot of the Iowa stuff. Shout out to my guy, Sean Bach, by the way, who covers Iowa. So that's how I ended up seeing this kid. But, um, 6'4". He can really score it. I mean, there's not really that much film on him, right? Like, obviously, I saw some stuff he posted on Twitter, but on YouTube, there's stuff from like 3 years ago when he was like 6'2", and I was like, who is this kid? But standing at 6'4", I think a guy that looks like he gets buckets in a lot of different ways. I will say this. I I don't necessarily see like Big Ten guard from the stuff I'm seeing in this one, but I think that he is a riser. I do think that he is a guy that can get buckets, and as a 6'4" combo guard, I can kind of see relating it to Iowa how Ben McCollum sees the vision of like putting this kid in that type of offense. But it's interesting that Illinois and Brad offered him kind of with all due respect. I just I when I did watch him, I didn't necessarily see like Illinois guard, if that makes sense, or Illinois player, if that makes sense. But that's not always the case. I have trouble coming to grips sometimes with the fact that schools will offer kids that don't necessarily fit their mold, right?
Yeah, I think that's a good point though. Just like, I don't know, stylistically, profile wise, this doesn't scream Brad Underwood guard. I mean, when I
Yeah.
think Brad Underwood guard, I think of, I don't know, just more physically imposing players through the years on some of his best teams. But you're right.
And to that point, I think Ethan needs the ball in his hands to be effective. And I don't see him necessarily like coming in Illinois and he's got like the ball, or he'll ever be like a on ball ish type guy.
Yeah.
Um, and so it'd be interesting to see.
This video is brought to you by NBA 2KLab.com. 2K Lab worked with us last summer as well. They're one of our favorite entities in all of sports gaming. We want to show you their college basketball stadium locator challenge game. And I'm going to share a screen right now as we do this. South Carolina, bang. Oh,
Ooh,
okay, that's pretty good. Next, North Carolina. Why are we only getting the Carolinas?
please
Bang.
lock in.
St. John's, that's New
New
York.
York.
Bang.
Where's New Jersey?
We're on fire. Colorado. I actually don't know what state Colorado is.
It's It's in Colorado. There's a state of
Is that
Colorado.
this one?
It's to the right of Phoenix.
Anyway, you get the picture. This game's really fun. They've got more games as well, like Guess the NBA Player, Mystery Fantasy Draft, and more. Stay tuned for all of the college football content and games that they'll be putting together to help you get the best experience out of college football 26. Back to the video. But to be clear, that doesn't mean I can't see it working at the high major level. Like you did mention with Iowa, like, oh, I could see this. Like maybe you're trying to find your next Bennett Sturts if you're Ben McCollum. I would even go so far as to say if Matt Painter offered this kid, I would sort of just be like, yeah, I'm not sure I see it on film, but hey, Paint has struck gold with this archetype before. Let's let it rock. It's probably going to work out.
Yeah.
This is. I'm not saying Brad Underwood hasn't offered under the radar players before, but I don't know one that is this archetype, this frame, this resume, quite frankly, of a 0-star recruit that is just an undersized type. I guess if you consider him point guard, he's not undersized. He's 6'4", but like I don't know who he's guarding. I don't think he's quick enough to guard like Big Ten point guards. He's not big enough to guard Big Ten twos. So it leaves you in a weird spot. I will say the numbers have been really good lately, and that's why he's rising. He averaged 15 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, and 2 steals at the circuit event. He got like all event team honoree stuff there. That was back in April. So I don't know. You can find good clips of this kid. Athletically, he's not behind. I mean, you look at the headshot, let's just call it what it is. Like he's a Caucasian guard. You would think that he's not really anything there, but I think he's pretty bouncy for who he is as a frame. So I don't know. I could see it. The issue for me is like you compare this to the last Big Ten, like under the radar recruit. And I would call that Luke Ertl, the Purdue commit, who at the time did not even have a basketball profile when he committed. And he was a riser, and now he's cracked the top 50 in national rankings. But as he was rising, we would look at his game logs. He was scoring like 30, 35 a game. This kid seems to be rising from 0-star, no profile, no high major offers, to like 3-star range because he's averaging 15 and 5. You know what I mean? Like there's levels to rises. Nothing this kid is doing is like profoundly dominant right now. So it makes it interesting at Illinois because Illinois, I feel like, is always after the best of the best. And I don't know that I would consider this type the best of the best, but maybe we're missing something.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like his ceiling, he kind of, I mean, I don't know if it's I'm swayed by the Iowa thing, and he's shorter than this player, but he does kind of hoop like Josh Dix.
Oh, he's so much smaller.
I know, but like that's the well, the thing is a 6'4" Josh Dix isn't necessarily something that's sought after.
I think he's got more passing than Dix, though.
You
Like,
think?
I don't know. I'm struggling to find a comp I feel
Like
super
they call him a combo guard. I think the only combo part about him is that he's 6'4". I think he's a two.
Yeah, that's sort of where I'm at. I'm trying to find a comp I feel good about. Like, okay, if we want like a best case scenario, taller Sean Padula,
I like that actually, yeah.
but I feel like that's a 100% outcome here.
Yeah. And like Padula took time with it.
Yeah. Yeah. Came in was nothing in year one for Virginia
And
Tech.
I love Sean Padula. So maybe
Yeah,
I love
right.
Ethan Brown.
Well, the other name that came to mind was Brendan Housen, but Brendan Housen wasn't a passer at all. So I don't know. I'm struggling with the comp on this one.
I just we always fall victim to it.
So based on this the just the offers right now, I mean it would reason to believe this kid is a legitimate possibility to commit to Illinois. I mean,
Mhm.
unless do we think other high majors are going to swoop in now that Brad has? Sometimes that's the thing that happens.
I would say, I mean, I feel like Iowa does extend an offer, but
But why didn't they just offer right after the visit?
you know what? I'm not really sure.
Like
Yeah,
that's
maybe.
weird, right?
I mean, maybe he just ends up going to Illinois.
It's an outcome, right? Because maybe he's just so blown away by this offer and he's going to jump at the first one he gets. Also, a lot of times with risers, if you think you're going to get more and more offers, we see guys get patient. So, I don't know. I feel like the likely outcome for this one is that one to two other high majors offer, and he chooses a place that might be a little more playing time friendly than Illinois. Because if he does go to Illinois, I don't expect him to be a rotation player for at least 2 years.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say.
And if you're not a rotation player at Illinois in your first 2 years, guess where you're not?
Nah, let's say anti-retention.
You're not at Illinois for your final 2 years. So,
Right.
yeah. But interesting, like, this feels like a new game for Brad a little bit, doesn't it? Going the like under the radar American recruit route.
Yeah, I don't know if I like that.
That just, it's not his vibe.
Yeah, like play your game.
Player game, Brad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, got to look for competitive advantages. This is their moment.
This is the competitive
Josh
advantage.
Whitman said, "This is our moment." And 10 hours later, Brad Underwood offered a 0-star recruit named Ethan Brown.
We're so back.